Welcome back everyone. So in this video we are going to talk about application of bearings and three-dimensional trigonometry. Now this might be tricky in terms of drawing in a 2D 3D diagram, so you need to use your imagination a bit. But before I start, I am going to try to explain a few things that people get confused with. First thing first, when we say something is due north or due south, what do we mean? And even before that, let's understand how the direction works in terms of compass. How does it work? So that's north. North is always up, and this is east, south, and west. Now there is a way to remember this. If you just remember it just like that, that's fine. But as a student, when I was a student, I couldn't remember it just like that. I always used to get confused with east and west. So I'll tell you a technique. If you are born in Australia or raised in Australia or have been in Australia for some time, it would be easy for you. So never eat soggy with pigs. That's north, east, south, west. That's one way to remember. But if you can't remember that, there is another way to remember, which is NEWS. So news. So however the case, try to remember it and get it right, because if you get your east and west wrong, the whole problem would be problematic. The next part. The next part is when it says P due south of a vertical tower. So many students don't understand what that means. So P due south. So what does due south mean? So in English, due south means towards. So P is towards south of a vertical tower. So vertical tower is in north. If you look from north towards south direction, you look at P. So that's the other part. And now I'll try to solve a problem, and then you'll understand when we draw the diagram. So drawing the diagram for a particular question in terms of doing 3D trigonometry, it's the hardest part. You have to draw the diagram really well and understand how the things are, because we are drawing 3D in a 2D surface. Let's do the orientation, which is this is north, this is south. Never eat soggy with pigs. Now, from a point P due south of a vertical tower. So the tower, let's say, is here. That's the tower, let's say. Now, the question is, this tower is standing tall, so it's 90-degree in every direction you go, but that's not possible to show in this 2D diagram. So you just have to understand that this is a tower standing tall at the origin. So P due south of a vertical tower. So there must be your P somewhere here, and the angle of elevation at the top of the tower. So angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 25 degrees. What did I just do? Okay, 25 degree. This is 25 degree. Now, as you can understand, this must be 90 degree because it's standing tall. And then a point Q due west of the tower. So let's do it with a different color. This is, let's say, Q. A different point, angle of elevation is 40 degree. So same tower, This is 40 degree. Now you can also think that this is standing tall, so this must be 90 degree. And if the distance PQ is 50, so this distance is 50. And you also know this is 90 degree because they are west and south. Now find the height of the tower. So height of the tower, let's say we use red color. That's H. So what can we do? We can say this is O. So we can say this is OQ and this is OS, or not really OS, we can call it OP. Now you see, we can use 10, 25 and 1040 to find out the OQ and OP in terms of height of the tower, and then you can use the triangle OPQ and apply Pythagoras theorem to get your height. So that's in a nutshell 3D trigonometry that we will be using. So let's set up the problem and leave it to there, and then you guys can solve it from there. So what do we mean by that? So let's go. We do 10, 25. So what's that? 10, 25 is opposite, which is height, over adjacent, which is OP. Okay, so OP is height over 1025. Similarly, we could say 1040 equals to opposite, which is height, over adjacent, which is OQ. So OQ is height over 1040. Now if you look at the triangle OPQ, you can see it's 90 degree. So we can easily say, okay, OP squared plus OQ squared equals to PQ squared. What does that give you? It gives you OP, which is H over 1025 squared, H over 1040 squared equals to 50 squared. Now everything is in H, only unknown is H in that equation. You can solve it and find out your H. The similar method, you can go ahead and learn and do question 2 and question 3. A similar technique, but maybe mathematics can be a bit more tricky. And I just want to discuss another concept, which is bearing. So what is bearing? So it's a measure of angle. So it's a measure of angle, and it's always measured from the north. So if you say something is at 200 degree bearing, it means from north it should go 200 degree. So somewhere here. So 180 degree plus whatever you need to get. If we say 210, what does that mean? 180. If you subtract, it's 30. So this must be 30 degree. So the bearing is always measured from north clockwise. So in question 2, you'll need this. You'll say from another point Q bearing 210 degree from the hill. So that means your location is really here. So it's 180 degree up to this, and then 30 more becomes 210. So that's the concept of bearing. Remember one thing, it's always measured from the north clockwise. That's all you need to know in terms of bearing. So that's it from me in terms of 3D trigonometry. Try a few problems from here, and if you have any questions, send me a message on WeChat, and there are plenty of problems on MathSpace. You can also have a look at that, and then I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.